Okay, namaste ladies and yogis of the world. Today we're going to work on an introduction to Rocket 2 and sometimes mini rockets. I use the terminology bottle rocket, and that will get you even there faster. So with this routine, introduction to Rocket 2, Bottle Rocket 2. We're going to use the standing poses as more of a warm-up, and the heart of Rocket 2 is in the seated poses. So have fun today, have fun moving at a faster pace, have fun working on the arm balances for 5 breaths, and then we get to move on, and that's the flow of the rocket. So we're going to start today with 3 A's and 3 B's, coming to the top of our mats, bringing our palms together and taking in 3 Ujjayi breaths. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Look up, inhale. Step back and lower in push up. Inhale, roll up. And lift into downward dog. So we're just going right into our flow today. Getting deep into our Ujjayi breath. Keep lengthening your spine. And bend the knees and just step forward, lengthen, fold. Inhale, come up. Reach up high, exhale, arms to sides. Good. Reach your arms forward and up. Inhale, open your chest. Forward and down, exhale. Lengthen. Good. Now plant your hands, practice to bend the knees and jump, core work, and drop. Good. Upward dog. Downward facing. Good. So just for today, remind yourself to be present. Remind yourself to let go. And we'll bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, lightly hop, lengthen. Good, forward bend. Inhale up. Good, exhale, Samasthiti. Good, inhale, interlace your fingers, reverse the palms. Exhale, forward fold, spread your fingers. So we're focusing on the hands. Look up, plant the hands, bend the knees, use your core, and go to low chaturanga. Upward dog. And exhale, downward facing. Good, so get a sense of the midline of our mat and how we're lining our spine up with the midline. And get a sense that that's going to line us up with our vision and our goals. Bend your knees, use the bandhas, and jump a little higher. Lengthen, forward bend. Inhale, interlace the fingers again, reverse the palms, stand tall. Exhale, Samastiti. Good. Bend the knees, right to Surya Namaskar beat. Sweep the arms forward, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward bend. Look up. And jump into push-up. Flow to up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, Virabhadrasana, right foot forward, reach, square. Good. Exhale. Feel light in Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Left foot forward, inhaling, reach. Exhaling, flow. Up dog. Good. Really get that nice lift in the thighs in your up dogs today, and downward dog. So when we practice yoga, it's a feeling. We want to embrace feeling better, feeling good. Good, nice long exhale. Again, so you want to secure the bandhas first before you jump. So bandhas, squeeze, jump. That's the way. Lengthen, fold. Utkatasana, bend the knees. Exhale, Samastiti. Good, here we go again. Inhale, bend the knees, reach up. Exhale, look to your navel. Look to the horizon. Jump into low push-up. Pull your shoulders back. Exhale, look at your toes. Right foot forward. Inhale, pull in your navel. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward dog, upper back. Downward dog, lower back. Left foot forward, inhale. Beautiful pacing, exhale, Chaturanga. Up dog. Oh yeah, exhale, downward facing. And again, so we're cultivating that attitude of gratitude. Allowing ourselves to focus on what we're doing right. Larry would say it doesn't matter how you showed up to the mat, that we showed up to the mat. Good, we showed up to the mat. So bend the knees. Good, so now let's step in, step in. See if you can really jump and get your feet up. Jump, get the feet up, and then bring them down. Good. Fold, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Good, one more on your own. And work with your own pace. That's it. Good. Work on your float backs in Chaturanga. Get your thighs off the floor in upward dog. That's a very powerful position where we're opening the quads and opening the front of the body. That's it. Steph, squaring the hips. Take a couple breaths at the top of your mat. Beautiful. All right, so let's fly into an intro to Rocket 2. So bend the knees. Keep warming up with Utkatasana. 1, 2, lengthen from your base of your back to your tip of your fingers. 4, Ardha Utkatasana, lengthen, create space in your back. Pull in the Uddiyana Bandha. Place your hands to the front of your mat, step back a little bit. Squat low. Bring your knees on the backs of your arms. Go ahead, Steph, take it up. Right into Bakasanas. Good, pull your feet in. Feel your feet coming all the way up as high as you can. Beautiful. Almost like you're doming in the back. Take it back to Chaturanga. Low push-up, hold, hold. Bigger inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward. All right, so right foot forward into Warrior A. Okay, step to Warrior A. Exhaling Warrior B. Inhale, straighten the front leg and reach over into your triangle. And we're holding our triangles for 5 breaths. So this is how Larry would lead the Rocket 2, is a very quick seated or standing sequence. Create space around your neck. Exhale, look down and step, switching your hands, bringing the right arm up. Good, flatten out the lower back as much as you can. Good, opening for new things, new experiences. Exhale, bringing hands down and sliding into side stretch. So the back foot steps further back, bend your front knee and reach over your ear. Good, look to your palm. So really enjoy the faster pace in the standing sequence. So that's what makes it fun. And that's what helps build our momentum for seated. And we raise up at center, squaring forward, lifting fingers, twisting prayer, hooking our elbow across. And you can bring your right arm behind your back, because for Rocket 2, we want our shoulders nice and warmed up. Even grabbing hands under the hip. And exhaling. Floating back into Chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing. So for Rocket 2, we go right into elbow stand. And so if you're using a wall or if you're new to elbow stand, work on dolphin. But again, so we're going right into it today if you're practicing. So your forearms come down and we kick up with no hesitation. Take it up. 1. Begin to breathe. 2. 3. Hold steady. 4. 5. 5 more breaths. 6. 7, 8, 9. Now slowly bend your knees, both feet touch at the same time. Good. You can take a resting breath in child's pose. Bring your hands out in front of you, downward dog. Left foot forward, inhaling, and we raise up, warrior A. Exhale, warrior B. Straighten your front leg and reach into your triangle. Hold here. Enjoy the experience. Notice we're feeling it today. And again, we're just going to start with that nice, clean, white page. So that's been my theme this week is it's okay to go back to the drawing board. It's okay to reinvent yourself along the way. Exhaling, both hands forward and step to square the hips and lift the left arm twisting. Good, flattening the low back. So that's going to keep your hips pretty even there. Good, so in this time of year, early spring, we can become like the snake, and actually a snake is very symbolic in Hinduism. A snake sheds its skin. Snakes represent rebirth. They also represent the Kundalini energy. Exhale, hands down, slide the right foot back. Flow into your side stretch. Inhaling and raise up, squaring, reach, warrior A into twisting prayer. So when we're twisting, we're taking our left arm behind our back and we're reaching underneath our hip. Good. Now noticing the stretch from the back foot through the top of head. Exhale, look down and release and float back to chaturanga. Upward. And lift high to the sky, engage your core. Good. And then turn sideways on your mat as preparation for elbow stand number 2 with wide feet. So let's take our forearms down. Lift up our hips, step in, kick up, and now wide feet. 1, 2. Use the wall. If this is new to you, just keep your feet, your legs straight up. 5. 5 more. 4. 3. 2. And this is when Larry would say, 2.5, 1.5. Bring your feet together. and come down. Good, working those holds today. It's good work, okay? So let's come to the Prasarita series. Standing tall, toes forward, arms up, inhale, embrace. Embrace the changing seasons. Exhale, bring your hands down, look up, and fold your head. As the elbows squeeze in, notice the engagement in your upper back. Look up, lace your hands behind you, lift your arms, go right to Prasarita C. Good. Also remember to take it easy on yourself, okay? Inhale, lift your chin, raise up, reach. Good. Go a little wider in your feet and grab your big toes. Make a loop, look up. Bring your head down. Inhale, look up. Bring your hands under your face for our classical rocket splits. Take your feet out wide. Come to your forearms. Good, so this is a good medicine pose. So using yoga as medicine, just like the ancient shamans of India, the jungle physician that they talk about in the Ashtanga Yoga invocation, Jangalika Yamane. Today we're asking the jungle physician to be with us. Inhale, bringing the feet in, walk over to your right leg, squaring off the hips. Maybe you're working modified splits, that's okay. Maybe you're using a block underneath the right hip, so just take it easy on yourself. Listen to your body. Beautiful. Fold forward, and if you do have your hips nice and down, like some of you, curl your toes under in your back foot and just practice to roll the left hip further down to square more. Otherwise, modify and lean your right hip down so you're laying kind of sideways almost. Let's raise up and switch sides. Walking around, spinning, feeling the hips rotating. Ease into this side. Modify as needed. Fold forward, surrender. Good, and then if you want to, square the hips more, curl the toes, lean to the right or lean to the left and kind of turn your body sideways. So either variation. That's the way. Inhaling and raising up. Exhaling and seated straddle. Turn your toes up. And lift your arms, lengthen, pull your navel in. Exhale, fold forward at center. Good, just honoring our journeys today. Bring awareness to your third eye. That's it. Inhaling, and we sit up and we lean to the right for a side stretch. Good, and again, so we need to let go of how far we're getting into poses and what the poses look like and all that stuff. So instead, we really just want to embrace the practice, right? So switch sides. Good, and inhale up. Good, so instead of the Mula Bandha checkup, our Mula Bandha checkup today will be Baddha Konasana. So just fold the feet together. Open the bottoms of your feet, open your heart. And lengthen forward, focusing the whole time on the Mula Bandha. Inhaling, and we sit up and squeeze the knees together. Give your legs a hug. Good, so lift the feet. A few things for our obliques. So turn your one arm behind you, turn to the side. This is very bottle rocket too. I put in a lot of obliques. Switch sides. Reach forward, and then we'll take a vinyasa. So we're going to jump back to chaturanga, lift into upward dog, press into downward dog. All right, so here, check it out. We're going to omit the rest of the standing poses. So today we're omitting the reverse prayer and we're omitting the balance poses because we're going to come into high push-up. We're going to hold high plank, good, and we're going to lower to our belly. So this is going to initiate our rocket 2 seated poses. So let's start with lacing our hands behind our back and just waking up the back body, raising the feet, lifting the shoulders. Good, another day to do it again, to align ourselves with our vision. Reach forward and lengthen. Reach with your toes, reach with your fingers. Good, bring your hands by your sides and push into child's pose. Crawl a little bit forward on your mat. All right, lifting into downward dog, Pashasana. Jump, bring your knees together and your feet together. So we're squatting, okay? That's it. Okay, good. So eventually the feet are flat, but that's going to take time, okay? So it's okay to be on your toes. Lift your left arm, cross to the right, stack your palms together. So your palms can push together. You can take one arm behind your back if you'd like. Maybe you're working on the bind. Some of you are. Go for it. Lots of Uddiyana Bandha to help you get there. Good. Unwind and let's do the other side. So get the preparation. Lift the opposite arm and then cross your knees up as you cross over. Good, and then we're going to come out, we're going to add in the vinyasa. So we're going to jump back from our core in chaturanga, lift to up dog, down dog. Good, and then now that we're here, we're going to jump and turn our knees to the right. Okay, so lift your hip. Set your hips down into side crow and take your top leg back. So this was what Larry would call the signature pose of the rocket. And you see this pose often in some of his photographs. Good. If you want to get fancy, switch the feet or stack the feet to the side. Beautiful. Yeah, play around there. Take a vinyasa. Get ready for the other side. Okay? So here's just some tips, is with your hands flat, lift your hips and then lower them onto the backs of the arms so you get your hip to stay. Now when you're first working this in rocket, we use both arms, and so that can be different than other styles of yoga. So it's okay to use both arms. Working that transition, you might just want to land on your belly. Good. Upward dog, downward dog. Okay, as we jump into seated, the left foot is folded back and we lift the right leg. This is called Crouchasana. And to modify this pose, the left leg can come out into tree. So if that bothers the knees, just pop this left leg out. Otherwise, keep it folded back. Hold your foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then lean forward as you exhale. Good, and release your foot, lift it into Navasana. Take your right leg, hook it on the back of your arm, hands down, cross your ankles, lift, kick to the right, drop your chest, 1, 2, 3. Good, straighten the arms, and if you're transitioning, bring your leg through and back into Kundanyasana. So I'm going to save that one for you today and prepare for the other side, okay? So the right leg folds back and the left leg lifts up. Shoulders melt and we lean forward. It's almost like we still have to pull our sit bone back a little bit on that left side. Whoops. Hopefully you could still hear me. All right, keep that left leg up and release it. Navasana. left leg hooks on the back of our arm. Hook it in. Bring your hands down, cross your ankles. Lift and kick out to the left. Focus as you take your leg back, and you can just step into chaturanga. So just step all the way back into it. Good. Yeah, pull your foot through. Good. Downward dog. Good. Stay in downward dog. We're going to drop down onto our knees for Supta Virasana. So we sit down between the feet. So totally different sequencing than Rocket 1. We're going to come back onto our elbows, lifting the hips, lowering, lifting and lowering until you're laying all the way down. Reach above you. If you're practicing, grab opposite elbows. Use your elbows and come up into child's pose. All right, intro to rocket, working on Ustrasana or camel. Toes curl under because we're modifying. So you're going to have more room to grab your ankles. Drop your tailbone, lift your arms. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, grab your ankles, fingertips point towards the floor, that's classical, and then your head lengthens back. Inhale, lift from your heart, and rest in child's pose. Good, bringing our hands down, stepping into plank. Feel really strong and slowly come down. Curl up your feet. So first, we're going to reach back, activate and lift the knees without grabbing the feet. Activate the knees up without grabbing the feet. Open your chin, hold. Using more of the strength from our core to hold us up. Grab your ankles, rock, 2, 3, and then rock to your side. All the way over we go. Knees together, look to the sky. Inhale, rock to center, and rock to the other side. Inhale, rock to center, lift everything up, lift, look up. All right, so here's a different cue. Steph, drop your chest, pull your feet higher. Yeah, pull the feet high, that's it. Good, and release, and you can work back into child's pose. I like to crawl into child's pose from there to release my lower back. Good. So you can add in a vinyasa And we're going to jump into seated. Extending the legs. Holding our big toes. Make a loop. First seated forward bend. So the forward bend makes an appearance. Inhale and exhale. We're going to lay down on our back and we're going to complete this little back bending sequence with the full wheel. You can start with supported bridge if that's working more for you today. So supported bridge, or take the hands over, press up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down slow, pull the elbows in towards each other, rest. Ready? And we come up again. Here we go. Come up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down. All right, ready? You got one more in you? Here we go. Come up. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, and come down. Pull your knees in. Good. So when you practice the rocket regularly, you're going to get really strong. The young kids won't be able to keep up with you. Trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it. Rock up and down. Rock up and down. All right, so we're coming into a standing forward fold. Up we go on our feet. You can bend the knees a little and just kind of rock your spine out. Good, and inhale up. Woo! All right, so just a quick review. We did a shorter, faster standing sequence. We worked on arms and arm balances in seated, and we just completed the back bend sequence. So to complete our rocket 2 is handstands, hips, twists, and abdominals. And so this is the ultimate completion of rocket 2. So first we want to go to the wall and kick up into a handstand. Any way that you're practicing, if you're not quite coming all the way up, turn to face the middle of the room and walk your feet up backwards. But we want to see if we can hold this first one for 10 breaths. And so that's also been a theme of the practice today. Okay, so ready? Take it up. 2, 3, 4. Balance. 5 more breaths. Good. All right, and so now after our 10th breath, go ahead and just sit down for Bharadvajrasana. Take your left foot and fold it back beside your hip. Bring your right foot and fold it up on your thigh. Okay, so inhale the left arm up and twist to your right. Reach behind you, see if you can hold your toe. This will get us all straightened out. Gazing forward, undoing our arms, folding forward. Good. Any way that you want to practice this. Inhaling and come up. Bend your knees up, lift your feet into boat. Go low. Come high and switch sides. Take your right foot, fold it back, and fold the left foot over. Bhardvadrasana. And so I call this the part of the rocket where we say we're slowing down the rocket ship. So just twist over to the left and take some slow, deep breaths. Julia. Julia, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Good. Gazing around forward and folding forward. So sometimes it's nice to have your foot on your thigh when you fold forward because it gives like a little bit of different pressure points and in your tummy as well as your hips. But sometimes it feels better to have your foot on the floor, and that's the fun of the rocket, is that we can be creative and we don't have to stick to one set of rules. Inhaling and raise up. Exhaling, release the feet. And we're facing up into Navasana. So let's do some more abs. Turn to one side, twist. Twist the other side. Navasana. Bring your hands down, kick up into a handstand. So any variations that you're working on. Good. And then on this one, we just want to come down and land in swan. So take your right foot forward, extend the left leg back, square off towards the floor, and fold your head to swan. Remember, hips, handstands, and abdominals. Good. If you want to get a little fancier today, take your left arm and just kind of put your forearm parallel to the front of your mat. Lean into that arm and take your right hand behind you and reach for your big toe. Good. Exhale, look down, take your hands down, lift, and pull up the back foot. So again, now this one you can pull it in or you can work on a back bend, really arcing. Woo. Good. And exhale, lift to downward dog. If you want to kick up and jump into handstand, go ahead. Or you can kind of fake, just like pretend a little bit to kick up, boop, boop, bend the left knee, and come down for the other side of swan, okay? So it's kind of a faster transition, and we use our toes. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling and walking our hands. Oh, we got to do our turn. Take your right forearm down. Grab your left big toe. Good. And then coming up at center. Grab your foot. Good. That right hip rolls down and we open. And again, for today, don't worry about how deep you're getting in the poses. So we're kind of want to let go of some of that stuff today, because when we do, magical things happen in our bodies. Take your back leg and bring it all the way around to the outside edge of your hip. Inhale your left arm up and cross over to your right. Look back over your shoulder. Awakening the inner teacher, quieting the inner critic. Gazing around forward, stack your knees together, Gomukhasana. Wiggling the hips down, getting nice and even. Good, and leading with our heart, always leading and extending. Good, so this is the beauty of the rocket too, is it's just like a symphony. It's going to take us up, and then it's going to bring us down. Inhaling, sit up. Exhaling, let's go to Navasana. Come back onto our elbows, crisscross the legs down. And up. And down. Navasana. And switch sides. So here we go. The right leg is folded under, the left leg is on top. So I love that combination when we're working our abs and then we go into a twist, because that's increasing the fiery cleansing, which is the tapas energy. And fiery cleansing also is about releasing and learning from our painful experiences. Inhale, looking forward. Exhaling, release, stacking the knees. Opening up to some new energy. In this beautiful transitional time of year that this is being filmed in and we're practicing in. So we want to be open for our own transformation and growth. Just how it is in the with this spring season and the rain and the earth and this cleanse that's taking place in the earth. We're also cleansing ourselves, purifying. Inhaling and sit tall, exhaling Navasana. Let's practice to go to Bhujangasana, so cross the ankles. Jump lower to your belly. We're getting close now to completion, okay? So pull your feet up, bring your hands back. Inhale up, Bhujangasana. Exhale, downward dog. Good, gaining insights on our inner little cosmic journey today, jumping and laying down on your back. Okay, inhale, bring your right leg up, grab your big toe. Exhale, raise your head to your knee. Lower your head, bring your hip to the right. Notice how much easier it is to breathe. Bring your leg back up. Bend your knee, leg behind the head. Take the arm around and loop-de-loo. And remember, don't need to go to your maximum today because we are having the maximum experience. Exhale, switch your legs. Grab the left big toe. Lower your head, take your hip to the side. Inhale, bring your leg up, bend your knee for leg behind the head, loop-de-loo. Grab the insides of your feet and rock your knees side to side. All right, so this is a little tricky. I was actually thinking about filming this on its own, this transition. We're going to come to Mayurasana, and so I know if you practiced with me before, you've seen it from here. You've seen it. You want to widen your feet, take your hands, spin the wrists towards each other, and take it up, take it up, take it up, and take it back. Now, be confused if you haven't seen that transition before, okay? So what we want to do, we want to take our hands, okay? And the hands are actually coming into the elbows. So for the boobs, you know, if you have a bigger chest, it is more challenging for you to get into position. So just do the best you can. We want to come onto the knees. So we start on the knees. And you broaden the knees as wide as your mat. So that gives you room to take the hands down and to kind of bring your head down and find that right position for the arms. Then take the feet back. And maybe just lift your head today. So for me, this is a lot harder coming into it this way. Than using the momentum of that jump back. So, you know, everyone's going to be a little different. It's a super core strength move. It's the king of rocket too. Good. And then you can take a vinyasa, and we're all going to meet up in a seated forward bend. So another forward bend makes an appearance, Paschimottanasana. So in Ashtanga Yoga, second series purifies the nervous system. So primary series is called Yoga Chikitsa, which is yoga therapy. And so primary series basically just kind of opens our joints up. It gets our bodies moving. It helps us build strength and endurance. Second series is called, it actually is purifying your nervous system. And so Rocket 2 is based on second series. And so really this part of the practice, and we're going to feel the benefits the rest of the weekend, is our nerves are more calm, okay? And that's really what we want the most, right? Good. Forget the pharmaceutical drugs that, you know, simulate that feeling when we can do it naturally with our breath and our practice. Good. And inhale. Bring your arms up. And from here, practicing any inversions. If you want to work on shoulder stand to wind down your practice. If you want more meditation, go for it. Or legs up the wall. And we're just going to take a couple minutes on your own. Put on your soothing music. Good. We're actually we did a good time today, everybody. Got a lot in. Just gonna roll out my back here. One more time on my roller. Oh yeah. Just take the next 30 seconds to finish up your practice we're going to meet up in Yoga Mudra. go, everybody. You can feel the energetic quality of Rocket 2. Lace your hands behind your back. Inhale, look up, and bow your head. Inhale, slowly sit up. Good. And so for today, meditation and Shavasana on your own. And I'll see everybody next time, right? For our next practice, because we want to get the sense of the longevity that we want to cultivate when we're practicing. And the rocket, as vigorous as it is meant to be therapeutic and give us longevity. So I've been practicing for almost 23 years rocket. So, just keep going, okay? Namaste, and I'll see you soonies.
Thank you.